Did you know you can overcome the deep challenges of life without therapy by understanding and overcoming 3 rarely spoken barriers? Raymond Hollowell wrote in his renowned book, Working with the Law, man's problems are mental in nature. They have no existence outside of themselves, and it has been discovered that nearly all will yield up their solutions when subjected to a broad and exact analysis. We're surrounded by images of effortless happiness, instant gratification, and the illusion that if we simply think positively enough, suffering will disappear. Yet anyone who has truly lived understands a deeper truth. Life was never designed to be completely free of hardship. Human beings are wired for survival, not perpetual comfort. However, we exist that we might experience joy. The mortal mind is naturally sensitive to fear, uncertainty, loss, and conflict. Beyond our internal struggles, we also face financial pressure, broken relationships, injustice, disappointment, and unexpected tragedy. To care deeply about life, family, dreams, and purpose is to expose ourselves to vulnerability, worry, and grief. Friction is not abnormal, it is part of being alive. For many people, however, the battle extends far beyond ordinary stress. Millions wrestle with severe trauma, addiction, depression, abuse, and emotional wounds that leave lasting scars on the human spirit. While many courageously seek help, they are often confronted with a painful reality. Healing is rarely a simple process. A soul attempting to rebuild itself from years of pain often needs more than a scheduled session or intellectual analysis. Real transformation happens when individuals are informed properly with truthful principles and are guided by experience, proficient leadership. Healing is not merely about managing symptoms. It is about restoring hope, identity, meaning, and the ability to fully live again. Freedom from the prison of painful memories, trauma, addictions, obsessions, and destructive patterns is not found in the absence of struggle. It is forged through overcoming the internal and external forces that limit our minds, shape our beliefs, and imprison our potential. To live authentically and experience genuine joy, fulfillment, and peace, we must confront 3 powerful psychological barriers that often stand in the way of human growth: dogma, stigma, and enigma. These 3 forces quietly shape how we think, how we see ourselves, and how we move through life. By understanding and overcoming them, we can begin reclaiming our path toward freedom and purpose. 1. Dogma is the unquestioned acceptance of beliefs presented as absolute truth. These beliefs may come from religion, culture, politics, society, or authority figures who insist their perspective is truth without being challenged. Dogma discourages critical thought. When people surrender their ability to question, they slowly stop thinking for themselves. They begin operating on autopilot, conforming instead of growing. To overcome dogma requires the willingness to examine beliefs honestly and revise them when new understanding emerges. Learn to think independently rather than merely inherit the thoughts of others. Growth begins when we accept that knowledge is not fixed, but evolving. 2. Stigma is the shame, judgment, rejection, or disgrace. Society places upon individuals who appear different, wounded, vulnerable, or outside the accepted norm. It silences people. It creates fear of rejection and causes countless individuals to hide their struggles rather than seek help. Stigma prevents authenticity. Healing begins when you stop allowing the opinions of others to define your worth. When you embrace vulnerability with courage and compassion, you weaken stigma's power. Honest conversations create healing. Authenticity creates connection. And through connection, people rediscover that they are not alone. 3. An enigma is something mysterious, uncertain, or difficult to understand. In life, the enigma represents the unanswered questions we all face. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? Why does suffering and uncertainty exist? The unknown can create fear, anxiety, doubt, and paralysis. We become trapped trying to control every outcome or searching endlessly for perfect certainty before taking action. Life was never meant to be perfectly solved like a mathematical equation. Growth happens not by possessing every answer, but by developing the courage to move forward despite uncertainty, fearing the unknown, and trusting the process of becoming. You don't overcome uncertainty by eliminating it. You overcome it by walking through it with faith, resilience, and purpose. A joyful life is a daily decision, a continual practice of choosing authenticity over conformity, courage over fear, growth over stagnation, and purpose over despair. The journey is not easy, but it is sacred. Perhaps the greatest truth of all is this: the struggles we face are not proof that we are broken. They are often the very forces shaping us into who we were always meant to become.